Isn't it goated though that we just played front
I
end?
know.
Oh, we just played 4-0. What? Oh, I know.
No. Like short bonds.
Okay, so on your test, you're going to want to remember the conversions. So when we're in degrees,
Everybody shut up.
we're going to times by pi and divide by 180. My trick is that I always cancel or divide out what I'm in. And this should be done in your calculator all at once. And you need to make sure you're going to 3 decimal places accurately. Okay, if you go to 4 decimal places, even better. Can't get deducted for that. But if you round inaccurately, I will have to do a little deduction. It won't be much, but it'll be something. Okay, if you're in radians, so to go to degrees, you're going to want to do that in the reverse order. So 180 over pi, you always think cancel what I'm in. And here I don't even need to type the pi because it would cancel.
Stupid Rocky song.
Okay, and then the last one, you can finish that one on your own where it's the same thing. You're in radians and I want to go to degrees. And then this one will be a decimal answer though. Somewhere on the test I also might have things about drawing angles, just making sure if you ever draw an angle, if you draw me that, you will get a half of a point deduction. What do I have to also include?
Circle.
The swivel direction. Okay, in case it's a negative angle, I don't know. You have to show me where you swiveled, okay? So when you draw, make sure you have where it is and where it's swiveled. Kind of those two components. Right, yeah. On the test I have something like draw this angle, just making sure you know this and the swivel. Arc length, you'll have some questions on there. So using this formula, which I will give you, don't memorize it, but I don't tell you this on your formula sheet. What do we always use as an angle there? We're always in radians, so don't put a degree angle in that formula, right? So we have an 83-degree angle and a diameter of 20 inches. So I'm going to do 83 degrees, but I'm going to actually convert it right in the formula to radians. And it has a diameter of 20 inches. Did anybody write 20 beside there? Because I tried to trick you. What do you think? Why did I try to trick you?
Try to use radius.
Yeah, that's a diameter. So don't just read the question. Make sure you understand white. That's a diameter. So 10 inches is the radius of it then. This should just go all at one time. And it doesn't matter the order because it's all multiplying, dividing. And then you should also add that it's in inches on your test. So making sure you have some units. It may match mine or we're good. No one's telling me otherwise, so. Okay, and then the last on this page is the arc length question going the opposite direction. So this time I was given an arc of 15.
And that's what S is?
Yeah, the S. And I want to find the angle, and I was given a radius. So dividing by 8 would be what I would do. That's the angle in radians though, right?
Yeah.
Every time you're doing this, you should make sure that stays on your calculator. Just to show you, I would be doing, like, keep it on my calculator. Don't ever retype something and round it. So times 180 divided by pi. So I don't even move it from my calculator, right? Okay, so keep that on your calculator. Don't round anything until the end, okay? Okay, state a positive and a negative coterminal angle for these. So a coterminal means in the same position as a rotation of a full circle or 2 full circles or 3. So I could do an add 360 amount to that number. So 713 degrees would be an angle in the same position. You could have given me another 360 number and you could have said 1073. That would have been an answer too. There's endless answers. And then it also wants you to get to some kind of negative number. So if I go down 360, I get to negative 7 degrees. Does this make sense? Because this drawing would be like this. This drawing would be like this. And this drawing would be like that. So they're all drawn differently in the rotation, but they're all in the same spot. Like a clock, minute hand spot. They're all in the same spot. Okay? Okay, can you do B on your own? Same concept. You can move by 360 or 720. Okay, you also could have different answers than me if you did like a couple rotations yet. That's fine, as long as one of them is positive and one's negative. Okay, C and D are now in radians, so instead of doing a 360, I'm going to talk about 360 as a 2 pi. Okay, radians. Now, 2 pi as a fraction, I'm going to match it to this fraction, and this fraction has a 13 on the bottom, so 2 pi is going to be 26 pi over 13. Right? You see where I'm getting 26?
Yep.
So I could do add 26 pi over 13. So 42 pi over 13 could be a coterminal.
You don't need us to draw it?
No.
Okay, good.
And you could tell me another angle is negative 10 pi over 13. Okay, so can you think about that in this context? So 2 pi, but let's transfer it to match the fraction that I gave you. So out of 7, we're going to say it's 14 over 7. So negative 16 pi over 7, that's still negative, so I still have to actually go up more, so eventually hopefully get to a plus. So in my calculator, if I do another plus 14, oh, I'm still negative. So I'm still going to have to do another plus 14. Okay, I can use this one now. Because I had to keep going up by 14s until I hit something that's positive. On your test, you're most likely going to see this with, can you give me all the angles, and I'm going to say between here and here or whatever, right? Remember those questions? That's probably what you would most likely see. And are you okay to understand I'm not going to put that on a calculator section? You're going to have no calculator to do that. Is that okay? You can handle adding a couple numbers. Okay, simplify this expression. Okay, so I need a replacement for cotangent. What letter and letter? X, Y, R stuff. X over R. And then
X over Y.
X over Y. Did you tell me that or did I?
I told you that.
You told me the right one?
I told you the wrong one.
And I didn't even think, I just listened and copied what you said. X over Y. This one is so you're really cute. X rated. X rated. We're X rated. Okay. Now let's take this and flip it. X over Y times and flip. Instead of dividing two fractions, right? And the x's cancel, which creates an r over a y. And then that ratio should match something else. Cosecant of the angle. Okay? On your test, this is for everywhere on your test, if I use the symbol theta, you use the symbol theta. If I use a variable x, then you use a variable x, or vice, whatever, right? You just make sure yours matches whatever I'm doing.
And
So,
you want us to like actually write the thing, not just
oh,
R over X.
as I say that, and look at this question. This question is wrong. So, if I'm defining the angle, an angle is, I don't know. So I'm going to have to make this, everything should say theta if I'm using theta. If I'm using x, everything should say x. So speaking of that, what were you saying?
That the one before was R over Y, but you actually want us to write the
What
thing.
what 6 ratio
not
is
just
it?
simplify.
Yeah. Simplify means tell me which ratio it really is. Okay. This is your quadrant and triangle stuff. Okay, so let's just astica this. I need to be in which one? So cos is negative, sine is positive. Cos negative, left, sine positive, top. Did everybody pick? Quadrant 2. Create yourself a triangle. -4 is going to be on the x. And 7 would be on the hypotenuse, the r, which means that so you should be doing 7 squared minus 4 squared. Remember to not put the negative 4 in there. Don't worry about the negative 4 at all. Don't put negatives into your math. Does 33 square root nicely? Nope. So I'm going to leave it. And then, what do you think? Plus or minus root 33?
Plus.
It would be a positive, right? Because it's a y value upward. Okay, cosecant is r over y.
Yep. Sorry, can't get them always right.
Tan, thank you, excellent, is y over x.
Okay.
And just for me, if there's a negative, I just like to say it's a negative fraction. So if you wrote this, it's not wrong, it's just weird math writing. Grammar, math grammar. Okay? All right.
I just have to know what to actually do in each question.
I think it's something fun stuff.
Do you understand, or should we go over it later?
Later.
A point on the unit circle has this as a y, and it's in quadrant 3.
So y coordinate.
Okay, so the y is negative 11/13, and it's in quadrant 3. So there's my triangle, and there's my y, but we're missing 2 sides of this triangle, so that's not good. What else do we know? It's on the unit circle, so 1. Do you like the fraction stuff, or we could do what else? Blow it up, size it up. So what do you want to times it by to blow it up? Enlarge by 13. So this would become 13 and negative 11. Now, what does that become? Oh, I'm getting another not pretty square root. Or is that what we're doing? Is it 48? Square root 48? That's in your math, so now look at its location, plus or minus? Negative. Okay. So secant is r over x, and you would have a formula sheet at this point, right?
But tomorrow is this thing?
Yeah, we could do it tomorrow, or yeah, let's do it tomorrow.
Or no.
What the heck? What meal?
I thought you
Yeah,
said
let's do it
was
tomorrow. Should we do it tomorrow?
Is it Wednesday or Thursday? No, Wednesday.
Okay, r 13 root 48.
If you don't want to do it, you probably don't have to.
So you could just keep it enlarged. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I like that.
The only time I would have to for sure shrink it back is if I ask you this question. What is the x coordinate?
So are you gonna have to find
What is the x coordinate?
So then you divide it by 13.
So negative root 48 13ths is the
Okay.
x coordinate. That's the only time you would need to
And
go
you
back.
would you ever need to enlarge it? Could you just keep it as a fraction?
If you like doing this squared, subtract that squared, and doing a bunch of division with fractions.
You can do 1 squared
Okay,
minus
and what do we got? Y over x? Yes?
Yep.
So then, y,
no x
No, it's not right.
x over
what?
X over, look at this one.
Oh,
It's X over
No,
Y.
it's x over y. X over y. X over y?
See, it's difficult to.
Why? I'm not even looking at my formula sheet. Why I can't? I should just look at it. It's right in front of me. X over y is negative root 48 and a negative 11, but I don't want you to write it like that as the final answer.
Positive.
You should also understand that Astica always connects back to all this stuff too, right? It's in quadrant 3. So tans should be positive, which is also the same as cotangent being positive, right? Okay, number 10 and you will not have a calculator for, okay? No calculator on your test.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have a formula sheet, right?
You will have a formula sheet at this point, which has, this is your formula sheet. So you'll have a unit circle, your ratios. Okay, so I'm going to first, where and what? This is the thing you need to think about. Where and the what? So where am I? So your eyes, right? Look in that spot, right, on your unit circle. What?
Why do you know?
What is this? What is this looking for? Which letters?
All over Y.
R over Y. And you know what I'm going to actually do?
Check your formula sheet.
I'm going to
Flip.
flip Y. Remember that?
So it's just Y over 1, so it's just Y.
On the unit circle, the ones are now just irrelevant, right? So everything, you just forget about the R's.
So you're just randomly choosing to flip them over, like.
No, you're putting it back to
So
sign.
Sign would just be the Y, because I don't care about the R at this point. And so then cosecant is the flip of the Y, because that's what happens there. Those are the flips of each other. So what is the Y value?
Yeah. Okay.
Negative a half. So flip that number.
So with the no calculator, it'll be on the unit circle.
Oh yeah,
So you
yeah,
just know.
for sure. Yep, no, it's
Yeah,
on the
okay.
unit circle. Everything is going to be looking at the unit circle and your X, Y, R formulas, putting them together. No calculator.
Wait, try this one.
Negative a half, and you just flip it so that's a negative 2 sometimes, and one
X. So just the X. And then
Okay, please make sure when you're flipping things, you're always, if it's negative, it's still negative. Don't change that.
plus 6
Okay.
is 12, so that's here.
So where and what?
Is here, 18,
So
6,
cos,
24.
So it's like right here.
the where or the what is just X,
11 over 6.
And then
and the where.
3 over 2.
Yeah.
The where. Okay. 6 over 6. 12 over 6.
Yeah.
What's the next?
18.
18.
And then
24. Oop, too much. So I'm in this quadrant. So I'm going to be looking at 11 pi over 6. That's where my eyes are. Look at 11 pi over 6 and grab the x value, which is, that's your answer.
I like those ones.
That one was satisfying. Especially when you do a bigger question.
Yeah, I think those are
Okay, then this question.
big flex.
So, the what? This is just the y. And 3 pi over 4. You're looking in this position, and 3 pi over 4, and the y value is root 2 over 2.
But it's
Squared.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the math just says now we got to square that value, right?
Like 2 over 4.
Oh,
Which is like 1/2.
tans. Tans are never fun because you don't get to take anything away. You're going to have to do a y divided by an x. You're going to have to do both.
4.
So where are we? 4, 8,
Root 2 over 2.
9/4.
are you looking at
All around.
Yeah.
that spot?
8 and
So that would be y divided by x. Oh, this is not even too hard. What do you get?
Over
You get 1.
1. That's just 1, right?
Over 2.
Okay, and it's
Which is
because
one, so you-
whenever you have a number that's the same, a number that's the same. So I'm always thinking tan here is 1, tan here is negative 1, tan here is positive 1, tan here is negative 1, because I can see those divisions of the same thing. Okay, then secant is me doing what? It's x in flipped around, and where are my eyes looking?
Right here.
I'm looking here, and the x value
Wait,
flipped around,
wait. Why?
So we're going, it's
Oh, that way,
negative.
okay, yeah, that's there.
right?
Whoa,
X
whoa, whoa.
value flipped around.
Why is it flipped?
Because who's humming and high? Yeah, you know?
No, I got it.
Got it?
I just mixed up my spot.
Oh, your spot,
Why
okay.
is the 2 and the 3 flipped?
Because it's secant.
But didn't you already flip the X and the R?
Oh, so
I'm
now
not even looking at ours. I'm just grabbing the x value.
if you switch to cos.
And then you flip the X.
Because these are values.
If I wanted just the x, that would be cos,
Yeah.
but I don't want cos. I want secant.
Oh, so we have to flip the, like, the actual number?
You have to
I thought
flip,
we flipped it already because we did the,
no, we have to flip this number. Okay, please make sure you can square things, because there'll probably be somewhere you have to square something. So what happens with a square root of 2 squared?
1/2.
Just 2. And 4, oops, 2 squared is 4.
How did I know?
Oh, this isn't good. What did I do to myself here? Okay, well, I probably wouldn't give you this, but we can do it.
Can we just square everything?
Yeah, I'm with Reese there.
Square
Screw
1/2
it.
to be
No,
a quarter,
but-
and then 1/2.
Okay,
And then,
ready? Grade 11.
uh-oh.
I'm going to times this by a root 3 and times this by a root 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. Calculus with this.
Follow the process.
Because that gets rid of the radical on the bottom.
Trust.
How are we supposed to do that without a calculator?
With all space.
I haven't used a calculator at all.
Just be like,
Check that out. I was sick. Oh, I'm screwed.
she said this isn't on the test. Probably not.
Okay.
That's what I'm making.
Jeez.
I need the same bottom. What do you want to use as a bottom? 12.
Only put all over one fraction.
And then this would get times by
3.
3, so 6. This would get times by 12, so plus 12. And this one would get times by 4, so minus 8 root 3. I don't even remember doing this question. Secant.
No way I'm ever getting that right.
Was I looking in the right spot? Yeah.
Oh, that's your answer.
That's it. Can't go more.
Why couldn't you go 10? 18 minus 8. Oh, because the 8 root 3 is together.
8 root 3 can't be put with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. So make sure that that doesn't happen too on the test probably, but you can do that. All right, solving equations. So I want you to think when you solve equations, these questions are worth 6 points or more. So don't stop too early, right? Think all these steps, I gotta do all these steps. Step 1, algebra branch. Do you have one variable or two?
One.
1, which means you should isolate stuff. So there's your first step, isolate. One variable means get something alone.
Eleven divided by 7.
11 divided by 11.
You have reached a half of a point.
Earned every bit of it.
Now, we don't really ever use cosecant because there's actually no cosecant button. So what should I do with this? Flip it to which function? Sine of the theta would equal 7/11ths, which means you've now earned another half a point. Okay, so you're at 1 point because that's algebra. Now I'm going to go into the angle stuff. First question is, well, I guess, do you recognize this from the unit circle? No. So quadrant would be my next. Where am I if the sign is positive? Tops. I guess I should look at the top here first. I need to be in degree mode. Okay, so calculator time. I'm going to be typing this in my calculator. Sine inverse in degree mode, that's what I'm doing. So that is a reference angle. So reference angles, I give you half of a point for understanding that, half of a point for understanding your quadrants. So we're at 2 points. Actually, this is a 4-point question, and now I need your actual answers. So 39.521 degrees is an answer. And then what would you like me to do to get that number? 180 minus. You're smaller than 180? And there's always your rounding to 3 decimal places involved with these questions. Make sure that's done. Okay, 12. Algebra branch. We have 2 variables. First, are we good with the zeroed out? Yeah. So now we can try to factor or quadratic formula if you want. If you don't like factoring, you always got the formula. Just do the formula every time if you wanted. I'm going to try to factor. Five tan x and 1 tan x. And then I have to play around with where to put my 2 and my 1. And it works.
I just don't know it.
So it's a 2 and a 1 because those are the
Was
only.
that like a simpler, like isn't that a complex trinomial?
Yep.
You just did a quick way.
Oh, so you just did it.
I did guess and check because there's 2 guesses. Because there's only 5 tan and 1 tan. That's the only option. And then there's only 1 and 2. So it's just about me matching, putting the 2 here and the 1 here, or the 1 here and the 2 here.
5, 10,
So just a
x
guess and check on those
times the
two
1,
is all I
and then
did.
the 2 and the
But you
negative
can
1.
still do like.
So that
all this
equals
stuff.
5. And
Like-
then minus 2,
How
that
are you
equals
getting
the 310.
Yeah, how do you get 3? Oh, because the
What do your outsides make?
Times the
5
Plus 5 tan.
Just flood,
What do your
or
insides make?
Boil it.
minus.
This would be 5
Minus
tan
2
squared.
tan.
Yep.
Which makes
5 is,
Oh my god.
510
3.
plus times 1 is 510. And then
Minus 2.
this is negative
So,
210.
were you doing like the whole SLA?
Yeah.
Is that what you were doing?
Well, I
Outside.
was not, I didn't write the whole thing out, and then I didn't know how you got it so fast.
So
I
then,
do not remember how this works.
so this is the FLA, so I did a negative 10. How could you get a 10? How do those get you a 3?
Because 5 times 2 is negative 10. You take the first and the last one.
And then you got to make sure that when you're connecting those things together that they just connect on the O and the I. Okay, so this is just your algebra. We need a trig value. So tan x equals what as a trig value? 2/5.
Yeah.
And tan x equals negative 1.
Wait,
So,
why? Oh, because you reverse it because you would add 2.
yeah, if you set this to equal 0, algebra would have to add 2 and then divide by 5. Okay, that has earned you 1 point. That's 1 point. That's just your algebra. That's your grade 11 stuff. Okay, do you recognize anything from the unit circle?
Negative 1.
Yes. Tan is negative 1. So first of all, do you know which quadrants that would be in?
The top and bottom axis.
So everywhere? Is that what you're saying?
No, like these lines here.
Tan is negative. And then how do we develop the negative ones again with tan?
Oh.
When you're dividing those, it makes negative 1. So
Well, I was looking at this number.
we're going to answer in a radian amount. So 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4 are those two answers. So that was recognized on the unit circle.
So x equals.
Yeah, you'd be x equals, because now I'm not using the theta, I'm using the x equals, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 2/5, that is not unit circle. And so we're going to go into quadrants 1 and 3. I'm going to tan inverse that in radian mode, right? I'll be tan inversing that in radian mode, okay? So 0.381 is another answer. I'm going to have 4 answers here. And then, what are you going to do on this last one? Pi plus. There's your 4 answers for that one. Yeah, and this is the 2 days that you missed because we've been doing this for 2 days. Okay, last one. Okay, we have 2 variables equals 0. Are we factoring it? Should we practice the formula? What do you want to do? I'm going to try to factor it. So 2 cos times 1 cos. And now I have to play around. Where should I put the 5 and the 1?
That's 5 and 1.
Why is 5 and a 1? I'm gonna get a 9.
Because this and this,
2 times 10 equals 5. I mean,
these 2 blanks, I have to have a 1 and a 5 because that's the only way to multiply to the last.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Still, how are you gonna get a 9 from that?
How are you gonna
because I'm gonna
We'll
put
look at
the,
your
I'm gonna put the
2,
5
5.
here, so it connects to a 2
Oh, and then it's a minus.
to make a 10. And then I'm gonna put the 1 there to make a 1, and I'm gonna go minus 10 plus 1. And it,
Oh, yeah, minus 5.
you see my, you know, when you factor, you should FOIL it out. Does it make your original? You know what I mean? Check. Does that times that make that? Does that and that make that? Does that times that make that?
2 of them make the middle. And then the,
Yeah.
the last ones make the last.
This is like this. This is the F. This is the O and the I together.
Right.
And this is the L. Yeah, like that. Okay, cos theta equals the trig value, -1/2. And cos theta equals +5. And you know what? I could do this whole question without my calculator. The entire thing. I'm not even going to touch it because I don't need it. What do you already know about this 5 situation?
It doesn't work.
No solution to it. Remember that? Cos and sine can't go that big.
So hungry, I need to get a horse.
And this one I recognize from the unit circle.
Yeah, I think so. Say, good luck, that's my house, boys.
Cos, so I'm looking at x values of -1/2,
These little score bits called dames.
which is at 2 pi over 3 and at 4 pi over 3.
Mood change.
But we have one more thing.
No,
The question, what does it say?
it's not for Valentine's Day.
All real values.
It says for all real values. So what should I add?
Did you make a reservation?
Plus 2 pi k, KEI.
What do you eat?
That's funny.
I know. You just,
It's 2 pi k, KEI.
you probably that's what we do.
Okay, now you've included every endless answer because you have all the revolutions of your angle.